Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today, we got a pretty interesting show for you guys. We want you guys to stick around for, so please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, today we're going to be talking about the Clippers. As y'all know, I'm a Kawhi Leonard fan, my favorite player in the NBA, but been pretty disappointed so far this season. Coming into the season, I had a lot of high expectations for this Clippers team. I thought that they would be one of the teams that would possibly make it to the Western Conference and ultimately come out of the Western Conference to face the Golden State Warriors, who are going through their own set of challenges that now everybody's discussing. Obviously, still early in the season, and things could still get ironed out. But I was very excited to see him play, given the fact that he hasn't played in over a year. So I think when the season started, Kawhi Leonard ended up playing, I think, 2 of the first 4 games. Since that point, we haven't seen him. I think Kawhi went on to miss like 8 or 9 games in a row. And then there was a report by Ty Lue where he basically said that he doesn't even know Kawhi Leonard's status. He has no idea when he's coming, when he was asked, I believe, in a pregame press conference. And that just created even more doubt for me. And I said then that the Clippers, I understand that their medical staff has a lot of power and a lot of say so. I said that I understand they're trying to limit the possibility of him, getting injured or re-injuring his knee this season. I said, however, that's a double-edged sword. And the longer he is out of the lineup, it's going to be very hard for this team to build continuity, because at a certain point, you're still going to need to be able to integrate him back into the fold, right? So I kind of just left it there, right? The Clippers are going to beat the Houston Rockets, and they lost a close game to the Dallas Mavericks. And it was really hard to talk about the team because I'm like, there's just too much disappointment. And number 2, there's this thing looming over the team, which is, when is Kawhi Leonard going to return? Then yesterday, while just like relaxing and then whatever, after we had finished producing all the shows, we got a comment and someone said, Kawhi Leonard has been upgraded to questionable for yesterday's game against the Detroit Pistons. And maybe a few hours before tip-off, we heard Kawhi Leonard was going to return. And then after that, we heard he was going to be in the starting lineup. And I was like, okay, this is very, very encouraging. And yesterday, Kawhi played in the game, to my surprise. And he went in there, and obviously he was very rusty. Number 1, for not playing for so long. And number 2, for not even having a rhythm. This is something that him and his teammates spoke about. In 24 minutes, he scored how many points did he score? He scored 6 points in that game, shot 0% from the 3, 50% from the free throw line. That's, when Kawhi Leonard's missing free throws like that, he's very rusty. Got you 5 rebounds, 4 assists. But there was one thing that stood out with his presence on the court. When Kawhi Leonard was in the game, the Clippers were plus 26 when he was on the floor. And that is the reason I was so disappointed. And I can understand a lot of staunch Clippers fans were just disappointed in Kawhi Leonard, because we know the premium he gives to the team when he's on the court. But nevertheless, it was very good to see him play. And as a matter of fact, after the game, he ended up speaking to the press, and he basically broke his silence on why, he missed so many games. So for those of you who didn't hear what Kawhi Leonard had to say, we want to play it for you now, and then we'll come back and react to it.
Your recovery process, what were you going through up until today?
Nothing, that's just rehabbing, getting ready. I'm not going to explain it because I'm not a doctor and nobody in here is one, so just getting back ready to get on the floor.
Well, I think at the time Ty said that you might have thought about playing through some of the stiffness in OKC. Was that a thought for you at all, or did someone have to kind of hold you back and say to be more cautious about this?
Yeah, it was a group effort. Like I said before, he's starting the season. It's going to be a long journey. The ACL recovery isn't just 1 year. Everybody thinks that, but it's a 2-year process. And, I know that, and I'm going to keep going and going through the process.
How did it feel for you tonight out there, Kawhi?
Good. It was good to be back, be able to be in live actions, getting some game reps, talking to teammates on the floor instead of the sideline. And, so I felt good. I was happy to be back.
Kawhi, even in your first 2 games, and again tonight, it looked like the longer you played in the game, the stronger and the better your legs came to you as you went along.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of how you feel? Like the more you play in the game, the better your body feels?
No, not really. That's how I play basketball. I don't come in and I find a rhythm, find what the team is doing, and then I start getting aggressive in spots that I see open. And, it's probably the increments that I'm playing in segments, they're spread out rather than me, playing the first 12 minutes of the game. So you could probably see that once the game goes forward.
Kawhi, over the course of the game, when you were in, the Clippers outscored the Pistons by 26 points. Obviously, a game that is decided by 5 points, that's a major impact. So what did you feel like you did on the floor that helped the team the most, that the team wasn't able to replicate as much when you weren't on the floor?
Just being great in my minutes. Like I said before, I got to go out there and do what I can to win a basketball game in the minutes that I'm receiving. And, that's what I did tonight. Just whenever I was on the court, tried to play winning basketball on both ends. And, I was fortunate enough to plus 26 in the game.
So you heard what Kawhi had to say there. Let me just give you guys my general thoughts. This is a positive sign, and I'll tell you why. It would have been one thing if they brought him back and he came off the bench. I like the fact that he came back and he was asserted immediately into the starting lineup. Why? Because that's a more realistic simulation of how things are going to be. Kawhi Leonard is not going to be a bench player. So it was very refreshing to see the Clippers actually put him in the starting lineup. That's number one. Number two, I get a sense that Kawhi wanted to be in the starting lineup and was like, there's no point at this point for me coming off the bench. That's the second thing. The third thing is this. I hope that he's able to play in more games and they start to build some continuity, right? And I'll tell you why. The Western Conference seems quite open this season. And the number one reason I feel that way is because of what's happening with the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are in turmoil right now. And it has nothing to do with Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry has been doing literally everything. And you can make an argument based on the way he's been playing. He's the best player in the world. But the Golden State Warriors are the 12th seed right now in the Western Conference with a 6-9 record. And this guy's putting up, just beast mode stats. And, a lot of people are now talking about do they need to make a move? I think some people even revisit the idea of Kevin Durant going back there and all of these things. So with the way the Warriors are struggling right now, it shows you that this thing is not a foregone conclusion. And if they're not going to be their normal selves, that creates an opening for the Clippers to seize that opportunity. And I hope that they do so. So I was very pleased to see Kawhi Leonard return to the starting lineup. And hopefully they continue on this path, right? Because they're going to need, the Clippers are going to need to be very, very serious if they intend to win it all this year, because it's not going to be easy, right? Nobody's going to give it to you in this league. And I don't think that they should have that expectation, right? So it was good to see him back. Obviously, I'm cautiously optimistic because you never know. They could tell you, okay, well, he plays 2 more games. The next thing you know, he's gone for the next 5. No one really knows. But to me, I thought that was a very good sign to see him back. I'm not celebrating, but I do think it was a positive sign. So these are my thoughts and opinions. The question to the audience is, what do you think about Kawhi's return? And what do you expect from the Clippers and Kawhi moving forward? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we catch you guys on the next show.